Yeah. So can you talk about like what happened? Like just set the scene. What happened? Like one, like what were you doing before it happened and then finding out about it?
I was sitting in my office and I think I was like typing an email. And then I heard on the walkie code red and I heard on the overhead code red. So like I said, I just immediately jumped up. I took my cell phone and my walkie and I grabbed the girl's medicine and I went to the classroom where she was at. And that's literally all I had with me was my walkie and my cell phone. Because I
Hmm.
was thinking, oh, this is just some kind of drill or practice. This can't be real.
I
And
was
then I
gonna say
found
it wasn't nerves there. Like it was just like, oh well fuck it. I'm going like it's just like, wait,
yeah, it was
what?
like, fuck it, I need to go take her medicine because she's gonna have a seizure. And basically, I was the one who always went with her when she had seizures, took her to the hospital, stayed with her till her parents got there. She called me her second mom.
Mm.
So there was no thought. It was literally let me get to her. And like I said, I thought it was like a drill. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I'll be back in my office in no time. And then, later on, I started to get text messages from my other friends and other schools like, you guys okay? I'm seeing your school on the news. You guys are in a code red. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? And then I'm hearing on the walkie now, like the sheriffs are entering the building. And I'm like, oh shit, this is real. And now I'm like, okay, how am I going to get my car keys to drive home tonight? How
Yeah.
am I going to get my debit card to buy dinner or whatever I just want to do? Like, I don't have nothing but my phone and my walkie on me. And, they came and they escorted us out the building, like one class at a time, your hands above your head. And it was like, oh, this is scary because literally every so many steps, there was a sheriff with a rifle, right there ready to draw at any time if somebody stepped out of line.
Right.
And we got outside, and like I said, they took us to a different site, and we waited in a school gym till the parents got all their kids, and the staff members were left at that point, kind of like, okay, what do we do now? Because they're like, oh, the school, you can't go back into it; it's a crime scene. So until we finish up looking for what we're looking for, you guys can't go back in. So we're like, well, what do we do about our keys? And they're like, you can't get them if you don't have them on you. You can't go in. So we were kind of just screwed, just kind of like, what the hell, what the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a whole nother challenge. Now, after you've had a stressful day, you've been dealing with this since 9 in the morning, you haven't ate lunch, like you basically haven't even done anything you needed to do. Now you're like, how do I get home? How do I get into my home? If you didn't have somebody at home, you were kind of screwed.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, so how long did that whole process even last? Like, was it something that happened quickly, or it was like a whole drawn out?
It was a whole drawn out thing. Like I said, we went into the code red at like 9 something that morning, and we didn't get out of the building till close to 11:30, and then we had to wait for buses to take us to the other site, and then we had to wait on all the parents to come pick their kids up. We couldn't leave until the kids were home.
Right. So it
So
didn't. So it didn't even click that this was like a serious situation until like the text and stuff started coming in.
right, I just was like, oh, it's just another drill. This one's
And,
taking a little longer.
uh, so then when it finally does click, like, oh, this is a serious situation. Well, I guess when it finally clicked that this is a serious situation, you knew that there was some level of safety, right?
Right.
Because it sounds like everybody was pretty much barricaded and the sheriffs had like came in and did what they needed to do. So it looks like it was like a quick and uh I don't know, like just like a quick and like necessary response to whatever situation it was at the time.
Right. We had the sheriff's department from, where I live at. We had the local police came in. Like there were sheriffs that came from 40 something miles away. So it was a big deal
Yeah.
because they needed the help, because they didn't know what they were really facing.
Uh-huh.
And then we have a daycare not too far away from the school. So that's kind of what made it also scary because, you don't know where the threat is and where it's going to go.
Right.
So you have a school and then a daycare right there. That's a lot. Very
Right.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah. So then like once you realize that it was a more serious situation as a parent, like what's going through your mind now?
Where's my child? I hope my child is okay. I hope my child's teacher, is keeping her safe and comforting her. Like that's what's going on in my head. And then like once I did talk to my child, she was like, "Oh yeah, mommy, it was stranger danger in the building." Like she didn't even know what was really going on.
Yeah.
Because I think if she knew, she would have been like, I don't want to go back to school.
Yeah. So you were more stressed out than she could ever be.
Right. Absolutely. Because the threat was on the first floor where she was located, not far away from her. And
Really?
I was on the second floor. So that's what made it even more scarier.
Did you know that at the time, or you
I
found that out
did.
after?
No, I knew at the time.
Holy shit! Like
Yeah.
what? Like my mind is blown
Yeah.
at that. I can't imagine what something like that is like.
It's not a good feeling for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not like it's anything that you can like do about it either. You have to like essentially stay where you are.
Right? You can't do nothing about it.
And like, what are your thoughts? Because even when you tell the story about like taking the medicine to the other student, like there are real attachments to these kids that it is that y'all work with. So you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that like? Like having that connection where it's just like, is there like, do you think that even adds like a layer of like concern?
Yeah, I mean, like some kids you just kind of like grow that bond and connection with. Like they become a part of you. There are students from my first teaching position when I taught third grade back in 2007. I still keep in touch with them. Like some of them, when they graduated, I went to the graduations. Some of them are parents now. They're having their own babies, and I get to see that. So you genuinely you build a bond with some of the students and the parents, because those are your babies during the day. Like I try to
Right.
tell teachers, don't look at it as, oh, this is just my class. No, this is your baby. These are your babies because you have to keep them safe. The parents are sending them to school with you for 8 hours a day. School is where they spend most of their time. So you got to look at it as like, that's your baby, and you
Yeah.
gotta bond with them. You gotta know that kid. Like I would know when I taught, like, okay, this kid is gonna have a bad day. They didn't eat breakfast. Let me go get them a granola bar. This kid don't have soap and running water at home. Here's a bar of soap. Go to the bathroom and clean up. This kid don't have running water and a place to wash their clothes. Baby, bring your clothes in. At the end of the day, I'm gonna take them home and I'm gonna wash them and bring them back for you. Like you
That's
take
deep.
care of those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's deep. Those are your kids. Like that's what took me so long to have kids. I didn't know if I wanted to have a child because I was like, these all are my kids. Like I got 20 something kids. And then when you have multiple classes and you see multiple kids a day, it's like, damn, I got 60 something kids.
Yeah.
I can't do all this plus take care of my own. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely a bond. It's you have to, mother them and love them.
Yeah. 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 So after a situation like that, after it's all over, once you get to go, because you said you ain't have your keys, your car. So how'd that work out for you?
So luckily for me, I knew one of the officers, and he was able to reach out to the community I live in and get me a key made, and I got a ride home through Uber because I could get an Uber with my cell phone. And once I got home,
Yeah.
I was able to get in, and then I had to Uber back the next day as well.
Huh. Huh. So what's going through your mind that day after you go home after all of that?
Shit, fuck. Going through my mind. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I want for dinner. I don't know. I'm not cooking. I don't want to do shit. Like, where's the shower? Where's the wine? That's all I'm thinking. Do I even go in tomorrow? How do I know I go in tomorrow? Oh my God. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, is there even, because it sounds like I don't want to say your name, it sounds like your daughter like wasn't bothered, by the situation, because I was gonna ask like what's the conversation with her like after something like that, but it sounds like she was just like, we good.
Yeah, no, she wasn't bothered at all. The next day she went back to school, no book bag, because, all her stuff is locked up in there too.
Yeah.
And And the day after, though, I would say it's gloomy in the school. You don't have as many kids showing up. A lot of parents kept their kids home.
Mm.
Those kids that were really bothered, they got to talk to counselors. We had different outside agencies reach out to us. They came in, they dropped off pamphlets for different community resources and counseling. So the community was really good about reaching out and providing resources. I think even the fire department came in with their counselors to speak to the kids if they needed to speak. So that was really nice.
Yeah, and like were the kids like really affected? Were there like a lot of kids that were like really affected by that situation?
So there were a few, and then there were a few that already had other like past traumatic experiences. So this just added on to what they already had going on. So they still needed to talk to somebody.
Got it. And like, what was it like for you the next day coming back into the school? Like, what was there nerves? Was there some uncertainty, or was it just like this is another day?
It was another day, but I bought a little fanny pack and I kept my keys on me, my debit card. And I was like, never again will I be stuck without my stuff that I need. Like, that's some BS.
So now you work with a fanny pack.
Well, yeah, for the most part. Now I have the cute little Lululemon, like, you know, one you put across, not the fanny pack, but you know, the other one you wear. Yeah, I upgraded. Got rid of the fanny pack.
You still gotta stay stylish. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a teacher don't mean you gotta be boring.
Exactly. Yeah.